My anxiety's kind of up right now. Oh, it's got so much on my mind. I feel like I haven't been able to sleep in weeks. Yesterday I gathered all my clothes and put them all together. Washed the ones that needed to be washed. But the ones that I don't wear because it's winter, and the ones that I can't wear because it's cold, I've bagged them all up. I even went and gathered like my favorite movies and my books, things that were important to me, and I bagged them up, and then I put them in a bag with clothes so that the way they were hidden. And I bagged all my shoes up, the ones that I don't wear on a regular basis. I bagged them all up and put everything important to me in the closet. I got like my high school diploma and all my jewelry and everything put into a little safe that I've had. I got all that squared away. Part of me is prepared to leave. Part of me is terrified to leave, and then a big part of me doesn't want to because I don't know. I don't know what I want. I feel like I'm so prepared to leave. I'm so prepared to walk away. Then part of me still loves him. And part of me just wants him to be different. But then there's so much hurt and so much pain that even if things get better for a few months, 6 months, it'll all come back, because what happens when he blows up, you know, we keep, but that's usually how it goes. We might do good for 2-3 months, you know, we'll do really good couple months, and then he blows up, and then everything comes rushing back, or I catch him doing things that he's not supposed to be doing, and I don't want him to live in this cycle anymore. I don't want to keep hoping and praying that he's going to be different, and he's not. And a big part of me just wants to be alone, and I want to get to know who I am alone. I haven't been alone since I was 14 years old. I don't know what I want. I'm trying to motivate myself to get off the couch and go in here and go through some of my grandmother's things that I got. Mostly like her crafting stuff that I had planned on trying to use, but I can't ever find the motivation to use, and I'm never going to use, so I'm probably just going to get rid of it. Keep the things that are important to me. Like she's got an old sewing box that's probably from the 70s that I really don't want to get rid of. Keep it and things like that. I don't want to have to walk away from it, but I think a good part of me has already walked away. because used to, even after all the things that he's done to me, I used to feel the love. And I don't think I've felt that in a long time. Now it's filled with resentment and anger, and it's making me a bitter, mean person. And I'm not this bitter, mean person. I find myself doing things and saying things, and I'm not that person. But I find myself doing it just to be spiteful, just because I'm so angry. And I'm so hurt. And I don't think anything is going to make it any better. I keep thinking that if he changes and that if he shows me that he really loves me, that things can be better, and that we can grow, and I can heal, and I can get better. But I don't think that I'll ever be able to get better here. I don't think. I look around the house and I see missing end tables, and I have flashbacks of him slinging my stuff and breaking my things. And we have pictures on the wall of us together, and I look at the pictures and I just see like all the pictures that are on the wall. I promise you I could tell you a bad story behind every one of them. And I look in the pictures, and you can see like the gradual, like I can see the first 2 or 3 pictures we took together, the person I was, and then I can see as they go through, like I begin to hide my face, and I can see the distress on me. And then there's a few here and there where there's a little bit of light, but you can see that I wasn't. I can see the pain. And like I said, I could tell you a bad story for every one of them. Just about, And I just. There's so much hurt. So much hurt here. And even if he has a couple days of where he's extremely nice and it makes me rethink my decisions, buddy, get up here and lay down. Chill out. Even if he has a couple really good days, how long until they're not good days anymore? How long before his ego boost dies down? And then it's back to the same person. And he's back to being mean to me. Like, he's loved on me more in the last probably 3 days than he has in 3 months. And after he talked to me the way he did the other day, and I made that video about me wanting to leave, that I literally could have got my shit and left right then and there. I could have grabbed my dog and my safe, and I could have left everything behind, and I could have walked away and would have never looked back, because the way he was talking to me over him being unable to decide what he wanted for dinner. I could have walked away because I didn't deserve that. And I don't doubt that I push him sometimes because I'm just as fucked up and broken in the head. You know, I'm just as fucked up. I am. I've got my own problems. I do. I get mad. And like that's like yesterday I was ill. I didn't want to get up. Like I said, I feel like I ain't slept in weeks. I don't know if like I'm fixing to have a episode of depression or if I'm fixing to start my period or whatever the case was, because I thought I was going to start my period a couple weeks ago, but and then again after the stress that he's put me through, it fucks with my period too, because I was regular until we got together. I was pretty regular I was regular for about 3 years until we got together, and then it's been chaos. And I think, bud, chill out. He's trying to get under the blankets, and I don't know what he's doing. He's an old geezer. Lay down. Just lay down, buddy. What is it, buddy? He's my old man. No. Lay down. Anyway. But I just I mean, and like yesterday, like I said, I had to get up and I had to go to work, and I didn't want to get up. And we get up at 3 o'clock on the days that he has to work, 3 a.m. And I don't have to be at work till 7. But I get up at 3 a.m. I get up and I make him breakfast. And I eat breakfast with him and make coffee. And I ain't been working out because I ain't felt like it. And so I get up and I make breakfast and I sit there and I'm like half fall asleep. And then I get up and I'm like, no, I need to get up and take a shower because I got to go to work on a Saturday. I don't have to stay long because we're only needed for a few things, but I try to stay 4 hours so that way at least get 4 hours overtime. So I get ready super early, but then I end up sitting here until last minute, and then I'm like, I really don't want to go in here, and then I get in there and ain't nobody there. So I'm aggravated that ain't nobody there. I go do the one thing that I have to do. The only reason that I'm really there, I go do that, and then I walk around. And the only other people that are there aren't going to have anything until the end of the shift, and I'm only supposed to be there a short amount of time. So I text my boss and I'm like, look, they're not going to have anything till later. I come in early and said, okay, because usually on Saturdays I usually try to go in like at 9 instead of 7 because I can kind of just pick and choose when I go in. But I went in at 7 this time because I was up so early. I was like, I might as well just go and get up and go ahead and go in and get it over with so I have the rest of the day. And I was like, there's nobody here. I'm just going to go ahead and recheck what I have to check, and then I'm going to go ahead and go home. And he was like, that's fine. So I ended up only staying 2 hours. And I come home and I ate and I took a nap, and then I talked to my boyfriend on lunch, and then I did all my clothes and my shoes and got some of my stuff. And then the weekend before I had went through like all my I take supplements and vitamins and stuff because I'm convinced myself that if I take stuff I'll live forever. I think I get that from my granny. But so I've gotten rid of a lot of stuff. And I've been meaning. There was a phase a while back ago. I had this older lady that I was training. She ended up quitting, but she was the one who I first initially started confiding in, because I've not really told my therapist about it. Or not therapist, he's a psychiatrist, but he's not really easy to talk to. I really want to open up to him. I kind of want to talk to him about things. Sometimes I don't really know how to start the conversation without crying because I get overwhelmed quick. But at the time, my boyfriend was having health issues and was really concerned. And then after the health issues, after they said that they couldn't find nothing wrong, and and he stopped. He quit his job because the heat was fucking with him, is what he said. And then but he was sitting here smoking like 2.5 packs of cigarettes a day. He was sitting here doing nothing. He was drinking 3 or 4 cups of coffee a day, drinking Cokes. And I'm pretty sure I know he was drinking energy drinks because that was our deal. He was having episodes before. He actually, way before we got together, supposedly his heart stopped beating. And it's from what he told me, which this is not, he had never actually come out and said it, but he just said that his heart stopped. But finally, after he was having these these continuing, like, reoccurring episodes, I was scared. I was scared. I thought he was gonna have a heart attack, and he's only 35. I thought he was gonna have a heart attack, or but he said that when he was like 22, that his heart stopped beating, for like 2 minutes. And then he just woke up in the hospital. But what he didn't tell me until after, and we've been together 5 years, and this was just like 6 months ago. But what he didn't tell me was, and this was after we had already been to the hospital and after we had been scared to death, but what he didn't tell me was that he had been up for 3 days and had been drinking Red Bulls, not just Red Bulls, not the little ones. He had done drunk 2 or 3 of the big can Red Bulls, and was at work after not sleeping for 3 days, and was at work. So they told him not to drink any more caffeine. And so he would drink it all the time, and I would tell him not to. And eventually I got him down to where he wouldn't drink. We would buy like the little water packet, energy packets. But then it got to the point to where between his smoking and his little CBD, THC vape things that he smokes, and all the smoking, he was smoking like 2.5, 3 packs of cigarettes a day. Between all that and the caffeine, him drinking energy drinks, drinking coffee, drinking Cokes, and then he eats like a fucking, he would eat hamburgers 15 times a day if he could. And so so after he stopped drinking coffee, we got decaf coffee, and we stopped like drinking, because we were drinking tea. Like, that's what we live in the South. We were making sweet tea because we couldn't afford it. I was the only one working, and I don't make that much money. And we have bills, and I have loans and stuff from trying to keep the roof above our head. So we have bills. I have bills because he doesn't help me pay for them. I have bills, and then we have the rent and the light bill. That's our shared bill. That's the only bill that we share in his eyes. Because he doesn't help me pay for groceries. The only thing he helps me with financially, like 9 out of 10 times, the only things that he helps me with financially is the light bill and the rent. He doesn't help me pay for the loans that I took out to try to keep our house. He doesn't help me pay for my car payments after I paid pretty much single-handedly for 3 of his vehicles while he couldn't keep a job. He doesn't, he doesn't help me buy groceries whenever I can't buy what I want, because if I buy what I want, he gets mad, and it's always about him. So I have to make sure that I buy what he wants, but he doesn't help pay for it. He doesn't help me pay for dog food and According to him, I only have one dog, even though we have three. So, and my dog has skin allergies. Yeah, I don't know why that seemed like that was coming out weird, but so I can't afford to buy him the dog food that he needs because I have to buy dog food for all three dogs. So my poor dog is suffering, but I can't afford to do what I need to do for him because I have to provide for all three dogs without his help. But his remark was because his skin's bad. His skin's bad, and I hate it, and I feel like there's nothing I can do. I feel like, I mean, he's my baby. He's snuggled up to me right now. I love him to death. But I feel like, I mean, for years I've chose my boyfriend over him, and I said in a previous video, I don't know if it was the one that wouldn't get uploaded, but I feared for my dog's life, and so I had to distance myself from my dog, and that was something that really, really hurt, and really fucked with me, because I even told this to my boyfriend a while back ago, that I'm like, you don't understand, and you never will. But at one point in time in my life, I went through a very deep depression. I wanted to go to school to become a nurse. That was my big plan, because I thought that if I worked hard in school and I become something, my mom and my dad would love me, and if I made something of myself, they would love me. And I worked very hard. My real dad come into my life, and my mom pushed him out, and I found out later that all the stuff she was telling me was lies. So I blamed him, and I hated myself because I thought he left because I wasn't good enough. So I blamed myself for a long time, and I went through an extremely bad depression. I gained probably 200 and something pounds. At my highest, I was like 415 pounds. And then, man, I was miserable. I went to cosmetology school. When I weighed about 300 pounds, I went to cosmetology school, and I was happy for a little bit. I always enjoyed doing hair and makeup and stuff, but I get weirded out being touched and touching other people. So whenever the physical stuff started happening, I would get creeped out. I had to give the man a pedicure and literally had to go to the bathroom and throw up. I was okay. Like, I had to do manicure. I had to keep a little girl busy. That was fine. I absolutely didn't mind that. Giving women pedicures didn't really bother me. Giving women manicures didn't really bother me. But the thing that did it is I had to dye a man's hair, and I was okay with dyeing his hair, but in the middle of dyeing his hair, he decided to scratch his head, and so he got hair dye all over his hands, and it creeped me out so bad that he wanted me to rub the hair dye off his hands, and it was so creepy because, like, I don't know, I took it, I couldn't handle it, and I literally, after that, I would like have panic attacks, and I would have to go to the bathroom and throw up anytime I would have to touch people, because I had to literally spend like 10 minutes trying to get all that hair dye off his hands. And he was like, it was the weirdest thing, because he was like, just like I felt like he was trying to hold my hand, and he kept on, and I was like, I can't, you can't touch me, I can't touch you, I can't do it, you know what I mean? I was like, no, I couldn't, so I ended up like pretending that I was going to school and was hanging out at the graveyard. So my mom wouldn't find out, and then finally I just told her I couldn't go anymore. I never really told her why. And then after about 2 months of just not going, they finally contacted me and was like, if the schedule's too much, maybe we can try going to night, try switching to night school, and you can go 4 hours, 3 days a week or something like that. And I was like, yeah, I can try it and see. And I just, once that had happened, it just, I just couldn't ever, I couldn't ever get myself back into it. Because I couldn't handle the touching people. I couldn't handle the being touched by people, and I couldn't handle the touching people. And so I told my mom, I was like, I can't do it. And my mom was highly disappointed in me, and I spent months trying to find a job. And because we live in a small town, I am not from, this town is solely one of those towns that's all about who you know and who you blow. I couldn't find a job, and my mom made me feel like I was scum of the earth. So I went through an extremely bad depression. I would apply for stuff all the time and would get interview after interview and would nothing would ever come through. And that's when I gained like 200 pounds, or 100 and whatever. I think I weighed like 250 when I went to beauty school, but I think I weighed about 400 pounds. My little sister had recently had a baby. A beautiful little girl, my niece, who I miss very dearly. And then my sister's grandmother had puppies. And me and my boyfriend, which ended up being my husband, but at the time, went to pick up my niece. And their grandmother was like, you want a puppy, And I'm like, can we have a puppy? Do we want a puppy? And my boyfriend's like, I was like, no, I don't want a puppy because I don't want to take care of, because I was tired. I felt like I had to take care. My mom and my parents were never really there. I feel like they were, my sister's dad was always too busy trying to provide. Which I don't blame him. I mean, because my mom was never available, she has lots of mental health issues, and not only that, she has drug issues. So my mom's never really been available. She's been there, but not there. And then my sister's dad was always busy trying to provide. He mowed yards on the side, was always doing side jobs and stuff. And so I spent a lot of time taking care of my sisters. And then, I felt like I was more of a mom to my mom than my mom was a mom to me. Constantly, doing everything, cooking, cleaning. I mean, I feel like I was more of a wife to her husband than she ever was. Not in the weird way, but like I was the one doing everything. I had to do all the grocery shopping. I mean, everything. I was literally a stay-at-home wife and mom, but without, actually being those things. So I was like, I really don't want one, but pick one. I told my boyfriend at the time, I was like, pick one, and since you want one, we'll get one. So he picked out the white one with the brown ear. And we had to wait like 3 more weeks, and then we got to bring him home, and he became my best friend. My niece got a little bit older. She became my best friend. She used to like, just smile at me before she could talk. She would just smile at me. Like, my mom was always very jealous. She would never let me, whenever she was a little bitty baby, my mom always, like, kept her. Like, she would never let me have her. She would always, she would always just stingy with her. But as she got older, she couldn't control her anymore, and it became apparent that my niece was obsessed with me. And between a dog that followed me everywhere I went and loved me just as I was, and a beautiful little girl who thought that I was wonderful and fun, and she loved me. We used to have so much fun together. And I'm sorry that we don't see each other anymore. I'm so sorry. Because don't ever think that I don't love you. Please, dear God, don't ever think that I don't love you. Because between you and my dog, y'all saved my life. You don't know it, but you did. Your beautiful little smile. You were my best friend. And even to this day, when I see you, you still light up. Because you were my best friend for 4 years, and it breaks my heart that we can't have a relationship. Because I was scared of my boyfriend. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I never meant for any of this to happen. I really thought that he loved me. I really thought that he was different. And I really thought that he loved me. That he loved me the way that you did. Because it felt like it at first. I know that you'll never see these videos. And I don't want you to. But just know, God, if you're up there, if there is a you, please just let her know that I love her. And that I'm sorry that I've seen her like 7 times in 5 years. And that it's not because I don't love her. And it's not because I don't want to. But they made me feel like I was worth something. Or they reminded me that I was worth something. Anyway, so I started, I used to eat myself sick every day because I was just so miserable. Food was the only thing that made me feel anything. And I finally stopped. And me and my dog used to take walks. I lost 200 pounds. I was the happiest I'd ever been. I found who I was. I was in love with myself. And it was all thanks to that little girl and this dog that I realized that I was worth something. Despite what I thought in the past, despite feeling like I had to prove something, that even if nobody else fucking cared, that I was worth something to me. And then I met him. And I thought that he was everything I had been waiting for, everything I had ever needed. He loved me more than anything in this world. He proposed to me within a month of us being together. He was incredible at first. And then was like Jekyll and Hyde. And I used to lie all the time. I used to tell everybody. I remember my sister's dad, when they first left and moved in with him, I ignored everybody for like 4 or 5 days because I was embarrassed and ashamed and scared. But he finally got a hold of me, and he asked me if I was okay, and I remember saying that he was just a big teddy bear and that he loved me. He would never hurt me. And that lasted for about 3 months till we got into it and he slammed me on the ground. At first it was just arguing and him like pulling me. I remember we went to a store and I was looking for a drink, and there was a man who come up beside us and was looking for a drink, and he was beside me, but I was there first, looking in the cooler, because I was at that time still vegetarian and still very particular about the things that I drink and eat, and was looking for specific things. So I was looking for a tea, because I used to drink, that's like all I would drink. I didn't drink Cokes. And so I used to drink like the Lipton Pure Leaf teas or whatever. That's all I would drink. Like I didn't drink Cokes. So I was looking for them, and not the very sweet, not the super, just the regular sweet or unsweet, what I drunk. And I was looking for them, and a dude come up beside me, and my boyfriend jerked me away from him. And that was the first time that I noticed that it struck me as, why would you do that? And I think that was about maybe 6 weeks into our relationship. But he grabbed me by the arm and jerked me significantly, almost made me fall. And I was just standing there. I didn't have eyes for anybody. Our entire relationship, until he would do the shit that he would do. He would kick me out of the house, and I would have to go stay with my mom, and then I would think that we were over, and then, so I'd be with my mom for a couple of days, and then I'm like, well, we're over finally. Even though I was still in love with him, I wasn't actually interested in anybody, but, the possibilities would pop in my head. But, I told him that he was what I wanted, and then that if he didn't work out, that I didn't want anybody else. And even now, I mean, if I do walk away, he's going to swear I'm down it's for another person, but it's not. There is nobody else. There's a fella at work that's very nice to me and is, I'm sure that would most definitely take me out if I'd let him, but I'm not interested. He's a very nice guy. But I'm not ready for anything. I'm in a relationship with somebody that at some point in time I very much loved. And if this does end, I don't think I'm going to be ready to be with anybody for a while, because I'm very angry. I'm very angry right now. I have so much anger. That anger's got to go before I can be, because all I'm going to do is hurt somebody with all this anger. I won't be good for anybody else. And I'm afraid that I won't be good for anybody ever again after everything.